Hello. Here playing Veletas on board space. And I'll post the rules and the links to where to play it below. Here are the rules. Veletas, a close relative to Amazons, is a drawless territory game for two players, black and white. It is played on the squares of an initially empty 10 by 10 square board. Both players control a number of neutral red pieces and shooter stones of their own color from them. In order to win, a player must claim a majority of neutral pieces by having them surrounded by larger groups of their own pieces than their opponents. This game won, along with the Board Game Geek Best Combinatorial Two-Player Game of 2013 award.
Oh.
So there's material. There's 7 red discs, which are called shooters, 50 white discs, 50 black discs, the board, a plastic L, and a carrying case. Okay? Yes.
A carrying case.
Not the online version, I guess. A piece is a shooter, red. So this definition, a piece is a shooter. A black stone or white stone. Okay, that doesn't. Okay. A group is a set of one or more light-colored orthogonally adjacent stones. The size of a group is the number of stones in it. Stones on top of shooters aren't part of any group. Stones on top of shooters. All right. The board starts out empty. Black starts the game by placing 3 shooter stones on empty squares on the board. And then white places the remaining 4 in the same fashion. In both cases, no shooters can be placed orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to any other. This restriction doesn't apply to the rest of the game.
So that's where the difference lies from...
And they're neutral.
Then, right?
And they're neutral. Like, we have 4 each on Amazons. On these, there's 7 that are neutral. From then on, the players take turns starting with black. On his turn, a player can, but is not obliged to, move a shooter to any empty square in a straight, orthogonal, or diagonal line without jumping over any other piece. Then a player must place a stone of his color on any empty square which is on the same straight orthogonal diagonal line as the destination square. So you move like a queen and then you shoot like a queen, same as Amazons.
Fair enough.
With no other places in between along that line. This is called shooting. Claim shooters, see below, can't move or shoot. Alright. At this moment, if there is no immobilized shooters on the board, the player's turn ends. If there are any immobilized shooters on the board that haven't been claimed before, each of them is claimed by the player who owns the biggest group orthogonally adjacent to it. Alright. There's no such group, or the biggest such groups of each color are the same size. The shooter is claimed by the opponent. Claiming a shooter is indicated by placing a stone on the corresponding color on top of it. Claiming shooters remains unchanged for the rest of the game. The game ends when a player has claimed the majority of shooters, i.e. the last 4 of them. That player wins. Draws are not possible. You can play on smaller boards, even on this website. It gave me the option, I think, of a 7x7 and a 9x9.
Oh, cool.
Alright, we're just going to give it a try. Hopefully we'll figure something out. So... Oh, am I? Oh, I'm black. Okay. So I'm placing 4 stones and they can't see each other. Like, they can't be orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to each other. I'm placing 3, I believe. Hey, even goes your squares, you're allowed to do it. Oh, next to each other, so they can be... Okay.
Just not immediately next to each other, I guess.
Yeah, I could go 2 away from each other, orthogonally or diagonally.
And remind me one more time what the point of these shooters is.
So they're shared with us at first, right?
Right.
And then so from then on, the players take turns starting with black. On his turn, a player can but is not obliged to move a shooter, so a red one, to an empty square in a straight orthogonal line, or diagonal line, without jumping over any other pieces. Then a player must place a stone. So you once all these are down, we kind of move like Amazons, where you move like a queen and shoot like a queen.
Cool.
Let's see. Let's place a stone. So this is called shooting, and claim shooters cannot move or shoot. So if you like, you can own a shooter by having more orthogonally pieces next to it, and that becomes your shooter.
Well, oh my god.
At this moment, if there are no immobilized shooters on the board, the player's turn ends. If there are any immobilized shooters on the board that haven't been claimed before, each one of them is claimed by the player who owns the biggest group orthogonally adjacent to it. Claiming a shooter is indicated by placing a stone of the corresponding color on top of it. Claimed shooters remain unchanged for the rest of the game. All right.
I think you have to do the one that has the dot on it.
I'll see. So I can move this. Still my turn? No. Yes.
What in the hell? It done disappeared now.
Alright. So then I had a chance to move the one I shot.
Shoot your shot. Or if you're a lady, squirt your squirt. I don't get credit for that one. My wife came up with that one, y'all. So now that our shooter, now that our pieces are down on the board, do we still share the shooters?
I don't think so. Or, I mean, I think the ones that don't have anything next to it are shared, but, like, the one black one next to the blue one, I don't know if you can move that one.
Yeah.
Because I have more orthogonal pieces next to it.
Right. All right. What? Oh. Tell me it didn't fucking... That's some shit, yo. This is like Amazon, except for the fact that Amazon is really logical because of the elimination of squares. Oh.
Well, that wasn't actually what I wanted to do, but... So can you move that blue one that we're both touching, or no?
Yes.
Cool. Because it said... Yeah, what the rule said, which I didn't quite get, was...
Yeah, right now I can move all of them. So maybe there's like a certain number that we have to have on the board.
You can even move the one that I'm touching twice. Hmm.
Oh, it did the meat now. That means you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, it said something about. That said they.
Yeah, I remember that as well. It said something about like whoever controls the biggest amount of.
Each one of them is claimed by the player who owns the biggest group orthogonally adjacent to it. If there is no such group, or the biggest such groups of each color the same size, the shooter is claimed by the opponent. Claiming a shooter is indicated by placing a stone of the corresponding color on top of it. Okay.
What? I see. So I guess then kind of the whole object of the game is like to capture shooters.
I thought so, but it wouldn't let me place anything on top of it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So let me move again. I'll move. Yeah, see, it wouldn't let. It's not letting you place on top either. Mine's.
Yeah, that's true.
But then why is it letting you place? Yeah, there.
And that might just be at a certain point. Maybe that's like end game or something. Oh.
It's still your turn.
What? What? You're right. Sorry. You dog! I see. So now it makes a little more sense how it's like Amazon's. Meep, meep, indeed, motherfuckers.
Oh, there we go. So when you completely surround it, it places one on top.
So it's almost a little bit like, it almost reminds me a little bit of Go then.
Yeah, I mean, people debate if Amazon's more of a chess or Go game.
Yeah.
And the stones definitely make it seem more like Go. And I think I'm going to put this under board... Like, Amazon's I put under chess, but I think I'm going to put this under board games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm. Nice.
Ah. Well, shoot, I done got myself done in it this time, boy. Huh? If only the eyes worked the same way they did in Go. Yeah, you got me on this one, boy. You done got me on this one.
I'm pretty even still. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I have more control over the ones that are left, but I
Yeah,
think
totally.
we're still pretty even. Oh my God. It's unreal. Yeah, that's been a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it has been. Still tricky. I still don't totally understand it though. Only thing. Still a little bit confused about the overall. Every time I understand very basic capture rules, like the corners that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wonder about more complicated capture rules. Hard to say. I would love to be able to look at an image and see all the different possibilities for shapes.
I think I could have moved that one to win. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I could.
Would that give it to you though, or does that give it to me?
That gives it to you.
Let's find out.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I think I could have done that. I could have done that, and it would have gave it to me.
Yeah.
But I think I got this one.
Yeah, I think you should be able to do the same thing right there.
Oh!
What?
That gave it to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
I don't think it works the same way that eyes do.
Yeah, but I'm
based on horizontal.
Horizontal. Not diagonal. I was just thinking adjacent.
I'm confused about the one up here where you have the two black ones on the sides and I have the one in front of it.
Yeah, I thought it was just right next to it. So horizontal or diagonal. So just like a king's move away. But
yeah, because even if we count the squares touching it there, weird. Yeah, it's an interesting game for sure.
Cool. Veletas. We'll play this again in the future for sure. Board space.
Oh yeah.
Rules and links below. Let us know if you have any questions or if you ever want to play. Thanks for watching.